Sydney, thanks for the planner as my birthday gift. I finally understand why you told me not to get a planner this year.
Happy birthday, Uncle Aiden. You can buy whatever you need for yourself, right? That's why I wanted to give you something you really need.
Anything I give from you is appreciated. We don't have any kids, and you're like a daughter to me.
I also see you as a second father, you know?
But could you not say that in front of my brother? He gets upset, claiming you're his daughter.
I know.
So, Sydney, how have you been recently? I heard from my brother that you moved in with your husband's parents.
Yes, that's right. We're living with my husband's parents, 4 of us in total.
That's rare these days. No offense, but isn't it tough to live together with them? Or are your in-laws good-natured enough that you don't mind living with them?
I thought they might be nice people at first. But since we started discussing living together, I've started to feel something's off. Oh, don't tell this to my dad, okay? I don't want to say anything bad about my in-laws to my parents.
I understand. I won't tell them. The relationship between in-laws can be tricky, but you shouldn't put up with anything if they are bothering you.
Yes.
You're not being mistreated, are you?
I wouldn't call it mistreatment, but more like they are too attached to my husband. I feel like they may feel like they lost him to me after we got married. That's why sometimes they subtly put me down or exclude me from meals.
That sounds like mistreatment. Who dares to do that to our Sydney? Isn't your husband Hunter doing anything about it?
Oh, Hunter does stand up for me, so don't worry. But if they were people who would heed warnings, they wouldn't do such things in the first place, right? Well, that's how it is.
If I were you, I'd move out right away.
Yes. Hunter also says living together was a mistake. We initially moved in because Hunter's job transfer was postponed. This came to light after we had terminated our lease. Then my mother-in-law said we could stay with them for a while.
Still, I think anyone would be against moving in together.
That's true. But she was very persuasive and I was eventually won over. I agreed, thinking it was only for a month. But then Hunter's job transfer kept getting delayed. However, we are considering moving out soon. We're contributing to the household expenses equivalent to rent, so it would be better to live separately. Well, we haven't told my in-laws yet.
Good. That's the way to go. You don't need to be around people who mistreat you.
Yes. I'll try to slowly distance myself and manage somehow. Once we're apart, my mother-in-law probably won't care about me so much. Sorry for unloading my complaints on you, but somehow I feel better now. Thank you.
I was the one who asked, so don't apologize. Don't push yourself too hard, okay? And always feel free to talk to me if something comes up.
Sydney, when are you going to be back from the grocery store? You're not just slacking off on the housework, are you?
I apologize, Kira. The shopping is done. I'm just stopping by the dry cleaners on the way home.
I could have done all that within an hour if I were you. You really can't do anything right, can you? Yesterday's dinner was too heavily seasoned as well. Are your taste buds off?
I apologize. I'll go a little lighter with the seasoning today.
You should. If I had to eat food like that every day, I'd get sick. Oh, is this intentional? Because Hunter's been on a business trip since yesterday. Are you trying to do something awful to me? While Hunter's away?
No, I'm not intending it that way.
Really? I don't see any kindness from you. Towards me or your father-in-law. You don't just dismiss us because we're your in-laws, do you?
No way. So please don't say such a thing.
Then take us on a trip. Show some filial piety.
A trip, you say? Where to?
Somewhere with nature where we can relax would be nice. I've always wanted to go on a family trip. Hey, your mom is on social media, isn't she?
Oh, that's right. She started it.
I have her contact registered, so her post popped up the other day. She was staying at a relative's vacation house, wasn't she?
Yes.
I saw that and thought I wanted to stay at a place like that with my family. I was surprised to find out you have a relative who owns a vacation house. You have wealthy relatives, don't you?
Well, yes, that's true.
Let us stay at that vacation house too.
But the accessibility to that house isn't very good. It's impossible without a car.
My husband or Hunter can drive us. So, can we? You'll ask for us, won't you?
I'll ask, but please don't get your hopes up.
What are you saying? We're not considered part of your family? Are you saying that your mother and her folks are okay, but not us?
No, it's nothing like that. The cabin is rented out like an Airbnb, so we can't just book it any time.
If the owner agrees, then sure, anything is possible. This lets me know what you really think about us when we get refused. Well, I'll just take that as how you feel about me.
I myself don't own the cabin, so...
Enough with the excuses. Oh, by the way, we're running low on food for my dog. Can you pick some up while you're out shopping? They don't sell it at the supermarket, so you must go to our usual vet.
Isn't that in the next town over?
Yes? Is there a problem?
No, I'll head there.
Great. Take care of it. But make sure you come back as soon as possible.
Kira, isn't the car wash over yet? And I don't see anyone from the pet hotel either. Could you give me their contact details? I'll give them a call.
They won't be coming.
What?
Haven't you noticed yet?
Noticed what?
Your father-in-law and I went out for a car wash. It's been over an hour now, hasn't it?
Yes.
We left you behind and are heading to the cabin.
What? But I have the keys.
Oh, we took them without you noticing. We also got the location from you, so we don't need you anymore. We'll enjoy ourselves with Hunter, who's coming straight from his business trip, and the three of us as a family.
You planned to leave me behind from the beginning?
Yes, because it's a family trip.
I see. I'm not part of the family.
A daughter-in-law is different, you know. You can look after my dog as you are a daughter-in-law.
I see. Understood.
Oh, don't say anything unnecessary to my son, okay? I'll tell him you're staying home because you caught a cold. You understand our hope to spend some time as a family, don't you? If you care about your in-laws, do as I say.
Yes, I won't tell him.
I'm glad. Sydney, you're such an understanding daughter-in-law. While we're away, take care of the dog and do a deep cleaning as well. If you do as I told you, I might consider acknowledging you as part of my family. So make sure you do what you're told.
Sydney, have you arrived at the vacation home?
Yeah, I think so.
Think? What do you mean by think? How's the vacation home? Is your husband's family happy?
Since I'm the daughter-in-law, I'm staying home. Oh, but I'm not alone. Max, the dog, is staying home with me too.
What? Staying at home just because you're the daughter-in-law? You invited them. Why were you left behind?
It seems they didn't want to take me in the first place. They said they were going to wash the car before we left. And it turns out that it was a lie just to leave me behind.
What? How could they do such a terrible thing? If you hadn't asked, I wouldn't have lent him my place.
Aiden, I'm sorry.
You don't have to apologize, Sydney. The ones at fault were your in-laws. What's Hunter doing?
He doesn't know. He's going straight to the vacation home from his business trip. Plus, Kira told me not to tell him anything. She said if I care about them, I won't make a fuss.
Sydney, are you okay with this?
Not really, but we're moving soon. Even if I speak up, my in-laws won't listen.
What does Hunter's dad do for a living?
Huh? Just a regular office worker.
Tell me the name of his company and Hunter's contact information as well. I should share this information just in case.
What are you planning to do?
They're messing with my dear niece like this. I can't just let this slide. Even if you try to keep your distance, I don't think Hunter's mother is the type to stop this harassment.
You're right. I'll tell Hunter everything, and I'll clearly express my feelings to my in-laws. I don't think they'll understand, though.
Even so, it's better to do that. And it's most important to take measures to prevent this from happening again. I'm genuinely glad to be a CEO right now.
Wait, what are you really going to do?
I won't do anything to make it worse. All I do is a little cooperation. So, Sydney, feel free to voice your concerns.
Sydney! Your uncle is the CEO of that famous company? Isn't that the company my husband's company does business with?
Yes, that's correct.
Why didn't you tell us before? If we knew you were the niece of the CEO, we wouldn't have left you behind.
Just because my uncle is a CEO doesn't make me any different. I'm just a housewife. Please don't make a fuss about it.
How can I not? Your father-in-law might get demoted, you know.
Is that so?
I heard it from Hunter, who arrived late to the villa. He said your uncle is furious about you being left behind.
I'm sorry. It seems like my uncle may have overreacted a bit.
It's not a laughing matter. Look, I'm sorry for what happened before. Can you please ask your uncle to reconsider my husband's demotion?
Me?
Who else could do it?
I've always tried my best to have a good relationship with you. But after living together for a few months, I realized that no matter what I do, you will never approve of me.
That's not true. We didn't dislike you or anything.
Well, that's how I felt. Whenever Hunter tried to correct your attitude, it only made things worse. And there hasn't been a single act of kindness towards me since we moved in. I was hoping we could get along better, but it seemed pointless.
It's not pointless. Actually, I was impressed with you. You always do things properly, as you're told. And you never show any dissatisfaction. You're so obedient.
I see. If I could be of any help to you all, that's good.
Sydney, let's have a better relationship from now on. Your father-in-law is really upset. And, you know, he never did anything wrong to you, did he?
He is completely under your thumb, isn't he? But I think just standing by and doing nothing is just as bad. It's obvious that I've been treated badly since we've been living together.
When the demotion came up, I was blamed for it. That quiet man told me he didn't even want to see my face.
Well, you both reaped what you sowed, didn't you?
I admit that we've mistreated you so far. I will apologize properly. So please, I'm begging you, forgive us. We really won't hurt you again.
Sure. Then before you leave the cabin, could you mow the lawn around there and also clean the outside windows?
I have to do it? This cabin is supposed to be maintained by someone, right?
He is letting you stay here for free, right? At least do that.
Fine, I'll do it. Let me do it. Once I finish those 2 tasks, you'll forgive me, right?
And from here on out, let's share the housework until we move out. And we'll never live together again. I'll also prohibit you from entering the new home we're moving to.
Then I won't be able to see my son.
If you want to see him, call him over to your house.
Do you really think he will come to us with this situation?
Who put us in this situation? Isn't it you? Do I need to be considerate of that?
Maybe you're right. Okay, I'll do everything as you say. So please tell your uncle we've resolved things. Tell him you've forgiven us.
I understand. I'll consider it once everything's done.
Consider it? Aren't you going to forgive us?
I'll consider that. So please don't expect too much.
Don't say such cruel things. We're still family, right?
Please don't make me laugh. Didn't you say that a daughter-in-law is not family?
I'm sorry. What I said to you was wrong. It's just because our son always takes your side. It was just a little bit of spite. It wasn't how I really felt.
It didn't feel like a little bit of spite to me. It felt like your true feelings.
Sydney, I'm really sorry. If my husband becomes unemployed at this age, we won't be able to survive. Please, please, please help us.
Anyway, I don't consider you two as a family. What happens from here is up to you. So please do exactly as you're told, okay? Whether you actually do it or not. I'll take that as your true feelings. After that, my parents-in-laws did exactly as I asked, taking care of mowing the lawn and cleaning up and returning to their home. Also, she began to constantly observe my mood until we moved. All I had to do was clean my own and my husband's rooms and doing the laundry. Whenever I tried to prepare meals, she would insist on doing it. So I let her. Their attitude changed 180 degrees. So I've been able to live at their house without any stress, and I've managed to move out peacefully. I was satisfied just being able to say what I'd like to say. But thanks to my uncle, I was able to reestablish our relationship smoothly. It feels like a bit of cheating, but honestly, I am so relieved. By the way, my uncle never intended to demote my father-in-law in the first place. It seems like he would just put in a word to the CEO of his company in case it could act as a deterrent. My husband says he doesn't ever need to spill the beans, so I think he will behave at least until he retires. In the meantime, my husband is sure to get transferred, and given the physical distance as we will be living separately, I plan to prepare to keep our interactions to a minimum. Now that I've moved away from their house, I can finally live freely. When I was living with them, my mother-in-law was so demanding that I barely had time for myself. Even so, I did my best to get along as possible. But there are efforts in life that you don't need to make. Since I've restarted my work from home and I have time for myself, I am happy to be able to live a very fulfilling daily life. From now on, I'd like to cherish my kind husband and my own family even more, and lead a joyful, happy life with my loved one.